Jennifer Nelson here, host of the Pocket Hours podcast. Here at Pocket Hours, I get to interview fabulous individuals in our industry to help educate us all and to up our game. We get to hear from them their secret sauce, how they are successful to hopefully help inspire us to do better work. The cool part is, as you listen to these interviews, you can also get clock hours on the go. So you listen to a podcast and then you email us at info@scoutrealestate.com to learn more about obtaining those hours. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in, and let's have some fun learning how to be better at what we do. Hi, folks. Jennifer Nelson here with the Pocket Hours podcast, and I'm excited today because I get to interview a friend. He's become a friend of mine, my favorite electrician. That's actually is how he is in my phone as my favorite electrician, Kevin Reeves, who's with Hanco Electric. And Kevin is my go-to electrician. I have used him personally. I've used him professionally with a lot of my clients. And so I was excited to ask him to be on the show today. A lot of people don't like mics and a lot of people don't like to be recorded. He's one of those people, but he's doing me a favor today. So thank you.
But be careful.
That's right. Careful of mics. So I'm just glad you're here. Thanks for doing this today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So tell me, Kevin, a little bit about how you got started in this crazy business. What did you do something else professionally prior to doing Hanco Electric?
Nothing professionally. Did the typical, jobs like restaurants and sales. I started a company a long time ago doing floor maintenance, stripping, waxing, traveling.
Okay.
But this is much more successful. So
Good. All right. And how long ago did you get interested in? Why did you get interested in doing this kind of work?
I would say around 26 years ago, I came across a book called, I don't remember what it was called, but it was NCCER. It's a training compendium of books, for journeyman electrical. And it was very in-depth, and I self-studied enough to fool somebody that I was an electrician. I'm from Florida, so they don't really require certification to do electrical work, as long as your company is an engineer. So I worked for a while and then moved out here 2015 and got my journeyman license and then got my administrator's license just in case. And then COVID hit and now I'm on my own.
On your own.
Well, now I'm under my wife. My wife is my boss.
I know that about her. I've met her. I love that. So I just have to make a little cut on Florida. I know you're from Florida, so no offense taken, but they don't require to be. Tell me, how's that possible?
So they do have a journeyman test. The test is, this is back when I was studying for it. The test for a journeyman, it means you can do electrical work in the county. And then if you get your master's, you can do work in the state. It just has something to do with the master is more legal terminology than electrical terminology.
Okay. When you moved from Florida to here, was it when you took the test for journeyman here, were you like, yeah, I got all this, I know all this?
Here you have to take CEUs. You have to have so many CEUs to maintain your license, but you also have to take the so many classes to get your license.
Yep.
And they made me do all that. Even though I came in with 20,000 hours, it was a ridiculous amount. They made me take all my classes. So I did that as quickly as I could, and then I took the test. The courses are good because it teaches you code, and sometimes you know how to do things, but you don't know why. And it's also a good experience to take the test. It's practice. Every week you're taking multiple tests.
Got it. And then you're journeyman. And what is an administrator mean? What's that?
The administrator is basically you are responsible for the safety of all your installations. Anybody can do the work, but you are in charge of making sure it's done right.
Got it. So for real estate, you can get your broker license, right? You can go help people buy or sell houses. And then you get your managing broker license.
Probably similar.
Yeah. So, right, I'm responsible for anybody that works at Scout similarly. Yeah. Okay. Got it. And what made you think, I want to do this work?
So there's a lot of boxes that get ticked here. You get to solve problems. You're not in an office. Well, you are in an office as an administrator, but I try not to be. You meet people, you get multiple problems that you have to solve creatively. you get to be creative, running conduit, making things visually look good. And you also have your limits of what's required. You have your laws, you have your codes, and you can't violate these codes. So you have to just bring everything together to work. It sounds complex, and sometimes it can be, but most of the time it's just going to work and doing your job. And
I get always tripped up on the kilowatt versus the thing, and then when you're speaking that language, I'm like, nope,
and if I say that, I apologize. It's just kind of like a second language. You just
Sure.
you get used to using words like that.
I'm sure. I watched you one time with one of the guys that worked for you, and you were doing something at my house, and you were asking him questions. Well, why do we do that? And how many volts can that have, or whatever? And so you were kind of testing him in a way to get it.
I do. I like to teach.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that in action. That was cool. I like it.
It helps them understand, because I've seen a lot of trainees that they don't know why. They just tell them what to do and they'll do it. And that's not fun. That's just work. It's fun if you get involved and you understand why you do things.
Okay. And how would someone know if they have a good electrician versus a bad electrician? Or not bad, but I mean, and obviously if your house starts on fire, that's acute, but we're not
Yes.
way before then.
The first sign would be if they don't want to pull a permit, because they're already starting to break the rules. As far as what makes them a bad electrician, I don't know. I don't know how you could determine ahead of time as like a customer. I guess if they were a yes type person, yes, they can do anything. Well, maybe that might be a clue, but
Sometimes in new construction houses, we will be going through with our inspectors, and all of the outlets are reverse polarity. And we're like, how does this happen? I mean, I'm sure it happens because subs come in and they're in a hurry and they're just going, but
so who determines the reverse polarity?
the inspector.
The house inspector?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sometimes if your battery's low on your tester, or that's a tricky one. I don't know the reason. I know I went to a job from a home inspector that said that was reverse polarity in a room, and I could not find it. I tested every outlet with my tester and I could not find it. So it could be just a faulty test. It could be a bad receptacle. Sometimes when they start failing internally, it could give you a false reading. So at one time there was no polarity. The receptacles, the old 2-prong receptacles, you could put your lamp in either way. It wouldn't matter. Then they came out with the neutral having a larger prong, which prevented you from sending it backwards.
Got it. Getting electrocuted.
Then they added the ground wire.
All,
Yeah.
all the things that almost not die from electricity. Okay.
So yeah, it's a tough question. The best thing to do is find an electrician and investigate,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Get a
it's
referral.
definitely dangerous, but not always actual reverse polarity. Sometimes it's a bad reading.
As realtors, we go into houses all the time with clients, and you're not with us, which is sad because it'd be great if you always were. But we're looking at a panel, sort of
Mhm.
going, and we know names like Zinsco because, right, we've all learned that was a recall
Mhm.
panel. But is there anything else you could say, hey, kind of couple easy things or one easy thing you can know or look at? How do we know what certain amperage is in the panel? Where do you find that?
So the older the panel is, the harder it is to find it, because the labels have all worn off, or sometimes they scratch it in or they fail to write it in the blank that the panel provides. I would go out to the meter, the outside where the utility meter can is, and look at that. Visually, if it's round, if it fits the meter exactly, like there's no box, then it's 80 amps. If the box is just a few inches bigger than the meter, it's probably 125 amps. And then a few hundred amps would be closer to maybe a foot and a half tall by 8 inches, 10 inches wide.
So the little round thing that the meter spins
Mhm.
around in, you're talking about the box around
Well,
that.
they're digital now, but yeah, the round glass
Yeah.
piece that plugs into it.
Okay.
If it's the same size as that, it's like, if it's the same size, then it's 80 amps. Okay. But if it's the bigger it is, the higher the amperage.
Okay. Got it. Got it. And then sometimes it can be 200 amps coming into the house, but not a panel that supports that yet.
So if you're dealing with PSE, they promise that there's 200 amps going to every service,
Oh, okay.
but sometimes the house was there before the 200 amps got there. So the meter's still 80 or 125. If it's if the meter's large enough, we can just add larger wire, but normally it's better just to replace it.
Take advantage of all the amps coming in.
Pocket Hours is brought to you by Scout Real Estate. Hi, I'm Jennifer Nelson, owner at Scout Real Estate. I started this firm with the vision of doing things differently, with our focus on legendary service for our clients and creating a community of producing agents to spur each other to do higher quality work. If you are interested in learning more about how a small group of like-minded brokers have come together to have some fun while doing a lot of business, reach out to me, 206-227-7966, or email jennifer@scoutrealestate.com. I promise you this, fun is a high priority for me, but so is winning. So if you appreciate those two things, you might be interested in Scout. Looking forward to hearing from you.
What do you think about solar? I'm curious if you have any thoughts on that.
I think it's great. It's just an expensive start. As an electrician, I would love it, but I can't afford to make the investment at this time.
I got it back when there was a huge rebate for it, then they took it away.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, super happy about it.
No, for them to take it away.
I know, no. So when I did the math then, it seemed like it was about 3 years for me to break even on the cost of it
That's
with the earth weight because of the rebate.
Mhm.
So I hope they bring that back because that makes so much sense.
especially now that we need it. How the electricity is.
So expensive.
Oh yeah.
So besides the creativity stuff, what do you love about what you do? Anything else that comes to mind? You like working with people. You're good with people.
I like solving problems. I do like people. Some not so much, but we
Fair
have to
enough.
keep a straight face. And I like helping people. They'll have problems that I can fix, and it's not really a big deal to me, but it means more to them, and I like seeing that. So,
That you can do it, that you know how to do it.
or just make people like to have good things happen to them. So,
Absolutely. I have to tell a quick story on Kevin. I have several, but I think about the most recent one. I just had clients that were buying on the east side, and right before Kevin got there, there was a guy there that was going to do air conditioning for them and talking about changing their furnace and adding an air conditioner. And he was saying, "Oh, this panel, you can't do it. You know, we're going to have to replace this whole panel and la la blah." And so their bid came back for that panel replacement at like $18,000. So
1,000 for a panel, not 1,800.
nope.
Ooh.
And you came right after them. And I remember saying to my client and to the guy that was doing the HVAC, "Thank you for talking about the panel, but we actually have an electrician on the way, so we're going to leave that part out." And he's like, "Okay, but it's not safe for us to install, blah, blah, blah." And then you show up, and my client was just looking at me because you were like, "Oh, no, this panel could handle it. It's fine." And she looked at me and I said, "Yeah, this is exactly why we get the professional in here to say what needs to happen." And then she said, "But if we wanted to, change it out," and you were like, I don't know, way less than that money wise. So I think I'm just saying that out loud to say it's not about finding the bargain, it's about finding the right person who knows what to do and can talk to it occasionally.
I'm a terrible salesperson. I don't like taking advantage of people, so
Yeah, you can tell that. I appreciate
I want to make a little bit, but not a retirement fund,
Exactly. What do we say? We don't want to hit home runs on clients. Let's just
Mhm.
all have a good good
Yeah.
ball game.
Most of my business is word of mouth, so people recommend me to others, and that's keeping me afloat. So I redesigned my website.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I'm using AI. I know it's terrible, but it's an excellent programmer. I can tell it what I want, what I don't like, and it just fixes it. It's Claude.
Claude. He's so helpful
Yes.
sometimes, right? We don't like what AI is doing in the environment, but we sure like what it does
No.
for us. Yeah.
If you're making pictures and things, maybe that's a waste, but
I think I want our listeners to, as brokers, to hear, first of all, that you should call Kevin if you have electrical stuff. That's so important. But that your partners in this industry are so, so important. So your clients trust you to have those tried and true people. And that you don't just say, "Hey, if here's an electrician I heard was good, you should use them," because that electrician has no skin in the game for taking care of those people And I think to your point, Kevin, so many people are saying, how could we make a lot of money on this client? They don't know anything about electricity or about this panel. And so
Or they have a lot of money.
where they let
Yeah.
money. Yeah, that's right. And so I think that's what happened for that East Side client.
Yeah, it's the zip code.
Yeah, a markup for the zip
Yeah.
code, right? We're over here on the East Side. We're going to charge this much for that same product. So how important that is. I think the other piece is the aesthetic part that you do. So you care about what would look best.
Mhm.
And I have seen so many places where you just see conduit running in you're like, why is that here?
10 minutes of thinking and you could have hidden it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's unavoidable and you always tell the customer, I got to make a hole here and explain why. And then usually they're okay with that. And I usually like try to patch it. I'm not a painter. I mean, I could paint it, but
Right.
I'm trying to be an electrician. So,
That's right.
but I will try to cover my holes if possible.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so I've been around real estate for a long time and I've had different vendors and different partners. So I have a little bit of a knowing around this stuff. But let's say a regular old customer is going to hire an electrician.
Mhm.
Are there green flags or red flags as to what they should ask if they're looking like maybe 2 or 3 electricians are coming to bid a job for them? Is there something you can think, oh, I would ask this question to help them pick the right person?
If they don't want to pull a permit, if their price is too cheap, and if they give you a price without asking too many details or investigating too much, they just throw a number out there. Sometimes they'll throw a large number out there because they don't want the job.
Yeah.
And that example you had earlier, I think that person was just trying to make money, but I don't know of any signs that would make them look like a bad electrician.
Yeah. Okay. And in terms of experience, obviously, if you passed your journeyman exam, like in our industry, right? Anybody can go get a real estate license, but that doesn't mean they know how to do real estate.
Difficult to do. If you have your journeyman, it's difficult to just get it.
Okay.
You do have to go to school, especially now. I think they've changed the rule. Well, I know they've changed the rules. You have to have an actual apprenticeship,
Okay.
which means you go to work during the day and then a couple of days a week you go to school in the evenings.
Okay.
Shout out to the local 46.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah.
I'm a member of IBEWS.
Okay. So that sort of helps weed out, I would expect, people who are just trying to figure out, like, I'm going to be a electrician. You have to no, you have to really want
You have to test and study and work here it's like a bachelor's degree, 4 years.
Yeah. 4 years.
And then you would say master's, I guess, for the master's.
For
electrician.
a master electrician.
Yeah.
Let's talk for just a second about what's going on with the trades. Like, I think there's been articles and talks about fewer people getting into them.
Yeah. So everybody was pushed to go to college. No, everybody's executives wouldn't know where to work, but we need younger people, and
Yeah, for sure.
there's nobody to teach. I had an excellent apprentice, and he went all the way through to where he was just a few hours away from getting his, journeyman, and then he moved. We moved to another state, and I was so disappointed.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's hard to find apprentices. So
That's true. I heard that from more than just you. I've heard that from contractors in general, that they invest in different people and then they don't show up for work or they don't whatever. Like some days they'll be great and some days they won't. So that sort of that consistency goes away. Yeah.
yeah, it's something to worry about. We do need younger people. It doesn't even have to be teenagers. It could be 30-year-olds. If you're in the military and you get out of the military, come see us. We have programs in the union to get you to work.
That's great.
It's kind of an open policy now, or an open door. We want people to actually learn a skill and do hard work during the day, and you get your time off and your retirement.
Yeah.
So we have pensions. We have excellent health coverage. It's dental,
Okay. And that's with the union.
Well, around the area, a lot of the other companies have to try to match it to attract talent. So, but I would push you to the union. Nobody's leaving the union to go non-union, but people leave non-union to go union. So
just for the protections at Graves.
it's just, and the work. You can travel. You could, if there's no work in the area, people, get on the books in other localities where the work is, and it's seamless. You just keep your same insurance, keep your same pension. You don't have to get another 401k or I'm pro union, so
Yeah, yeah, you could tell. That's crazy. I like it. I think that brokers in general spend time trying to avoid knowing too much about anything so that they don't speak, hopefully, so they don't speak out of turn. But I think it's important for us to know enough to be able to ask the right questions, right?
Mhm.
And so something like being able to point out this is a 200 amp panel, or this is a Zinsco panel, or these are two prone outlets, and you should probably get a bit in here for that. Okay, knob and tube, being able to recognize knob and tube. So if you're one of the brokers listening to this and don't know a lot of the answers to this, I would recommend you call Kevin. Kevin can give you a quick tutorial on how to educate yourself, but I think it's important to know enough.
Zinsco is probably the most urgent replacement
Okay.
requirement.
Okay.
Knob and tube, it can be safe. It should probably be examined.
Yeah.
Uh, Cracks in the insulation, especially from rodent damage, or in the attic where you have this fiber. I want to say it's paper. I'm not an insulation expert, but it looks just like paper up there in the attic, laying, around this wire that could be arcing or overheating. That would be dangerous.
Yeah. It's good to hear you say that Nava tube has kind of a bad rap. And it's funny that most of the time,
It's still functional.
most of the time, you people say, hey, it's been around for a long time. So,
It's the same as the Zinsco. I haven't seen one actually fail, but I've seen some that I don't want to work on. So you can just look at it and it's just,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. When you start hearing sizzles and, like humming coming from your panels, it's not good.
That's bad. That's no good.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of the times that you've helped me with clients, you'll find things like open junction boxes or no junction boxes where there's connections for wires sort of just sitting there, and the danger of that, right?
The missing covers, that can get lost over time, but the splices in the attic, that's somebody trying to get power somewhere that doesn't think about the safety of it. It should be in the box.
Yeah. Well, Kevin, I really appreciate your time being on the show today. And the goal is to hopefully educate some brokers on more stuff around electricity, because I think a lot of us don't know enough. But also, the biggest goal was to have people know that you are someone to be trusted and someone to use for that.
I
So,
appreciate that.
yeah, but so just for our listeners, I'm going to say it again. This is Kevin Reeves with Hanco Electric, and Kevin Reeves at hancoelectric.com, Kevin.Reeves at hancoelectric.com is how you can email him, and his website is just hancoelectric.com. So check him out. Again, it's so important for us as realtors to have good partners for our clients, to take care of them, and they know the difference. So when they are taken care of by someone like Kevin, that reflects really good on you as a broker as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fun to see you today. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you so much for listening in to Pocket Hours. I hope this has been interesting, fun, made you laugh, made you think, spurred you on to do and implement some new things in your business. I appreciate your time and hope this has been a good use of it, period. Now, go be the agent you would hire.
Audiotocracy.